So where we simplified coplanar for system, we also simplified parallel for system, no? So this time, if we have a distributed load, is there a way for us to reduce this distributed load? So is there a way? Okay? So of course, there's a way. Pwede nating i-reduce itong distributed load into a single resultant force, FR. And this FR is acting at a specified location. Okay. At a specified location. So, yun yung concern natin. Paano natin makalculate yung FR given distributed loading and saan ito mag-a-act yung resultant force na yan. Okay, so you have here yung unit ng pressure, so Pascal or Newton per square meter. We also have pound per square. Okay, so na-mention na yan kanina. Now, the most common type of distributed loading daw encountered in engineering practice is generally uniform along a single axis. Okay. For example, meron tayong beam or plate. So, meron tayong beam or plate. So, this is our beam or plate. So, as you can see, meron siyang length na L and constant width na B. So, this beam is subjected to a pressure loading as seen in this figure. So, this pressure loading, as you can see, nagva-vary lang siya along X. So, medyo high ang intensity dito and then lumiliit na siya. But in terms of this axis, no? Constant yung pressure distribution natin. So, hindi siya nag-change naman. Kasi mahirap na if dalawang axis varying yung intensity natin. So, in this case, uniform siya in this axis, yung pressure distribution, while in the x-axis, it varies. Okay, so this is uniform loading along a single axis. So, itong loading na to, pwede siyang i-describe in terms of pressure. So, you can describe that one as P. Yung P natin, yung intensity niya is an expression in terms of X kasi nagva-vary siya along X. So, unit will be Newton, let's say Newton per square meter. So, it contains only one variable X. And for this reason, we can also represent it as a coplanar distributed load. Okay. So, from this na pressure, pwede natin gawin is i-multiply yung pressure function natin by the width. Kasi constant naman dito yung uniform naman dito yung loading in this axis. So, i-multiply natin yung pressure by the width na B. So, what we will have is parang naging coplanar na yung forces natin ganito. Okay? So, this time, the intensity is a line load na. So, let's say Wx, function of x, equals to Pxb. So, ang unit na is Newton per meter. So, since naging coplanar na siya, coplanar distributed load, so we can easily reduce this one into a resultant force acting at a specified location on the beam. So, paano ba daw makuha yung magnitude of the resultant force sa isang distributed loading? Now, Marami itong sinasabi, no? But let's jump to the conclusion. Paano ba? The magnitude daw of the resultant force is actually equal to the total area under the loading diagram. Okay, so the magnitude of the resultant force is equal to the total area under the loading diagram. So if our load is ganito, varying siya, no? Varying. So, we actually need a little bit of calculus here para makuha yung area nito. No? Thus, this formula. But if our loading kay uniformly distributed like rectangular na distribution, o di kaya triangular distribution, which is mga pinaka-common na to sa engineering, hindi na natin kailangan gumamit ng formula na to kasi we know how to get the area of the rectangle. So kung ano yung intensity ng load na to, i-multiply mo lang sa length, you will get the area. Thus, that is equals to the resultant force. Also this one, meron kang length dito. So kung ano yung intensity dito sa pinaka peak, so let's say Wx rin. So ano yung area nito? 1/2 times base, so L times height na Wx. So this is equals to our resultant force. So in case na hindi mga simple shapes yung distributed loading natin, so kailangan na natin gamitan ng integration, so calculus. Now, ano naman yung, or saan naman malulocate yung resultant force? Where is the location of the resultant force? So, dito na tayo pumunta. So, yung resultant force daw natin has a magnitude equal to the volume under the loading curve and a line of action which passes through the centroid of this volume. So actually, ang sinabi dito is volume, no? So ang ginawa natin kanina kasi sa discussion is before natin kunin yung area ng loading, given the pressure, na multiply na natin siya sa width para maging coplanar force system na lang yung meron tayo. Then after having this coplanar force system, kukunin natin yung area, yun yung resultant. Diba? Then yung resultant daw na nakuha natin through that process, meron siyang line of action na dumadaan sa centroid of the load diagram. Okay? The centroid of load diagram. So doon natin ma-determine yung location ng FR kasi always siyang dumadaan sa centroid ng load diagram natin. Okay, so the centroid, when we talk about centroid, it's actually the geometric center of the body. Geometric center. Okay, so again, if you're dealing with rectangular or uniformly distributed na loadings, okay, alam natin paano makuha yung resultant force kasi area lang ng rectangle. And then, yung centroid naman, alam din natin kasi simple lang yan, it's the midpoint. So, if this is L, the centroid is L over 2, L over 2. Okay? So, if this is our point O, so ang FR natin is actually located L over 2 from point O. Yan. How about the triangular na distributed load? Ganito. So, alam din natin paano kunin yung resultant niya, which is just the area. So, you have FR. and that will be passing through the center or the centroid or geometric center of the load diagram. So for a triangle, the centroid will be 2/3 of the length, no, from this centroid papunta sa dito sa sharp edge ng triangle or the zero intensity. Then from the centroid papunta sa pinaka height ng triangle, ito, that is actually 1/3 of L, if this is L. Okay, so if ganito naman yung orientation ng triangle natin, so ito yung FR natin. So again, this is the zero intensity, ito yung may intensity na WX. So ito yung 2/3 L, and then ito naman yung 1/3 L. Okay, so what about, ma'am, the other shapes? Like if non-uniform yung distributed loading natin, na hindi siya triangle, let's say quadratic or cubic yung diagram natin. Okay, so if that's the case, we need to locate mismo yung centroid ng diagram. So through the formulas or processes that will be discussed in chapter 9, I think. So meron tayong chapters na nakalaan talaga in calculating the centroid of a body. So check ko lang. Oh yes, sa chapter 9, center of gravity and centroid. So this time parang bigyan na kayo ng introduction sa centroid, no? So basic nga lang kasi mga triangle and rectangles lang. Okay? Again, the resultant force is equivalent to the area under the loading diagram and has a line of action passing through the centroid or geometric center of this area. Okay, so let's have an example. Example is we have a distributed loading